today we're on set filming some very cool stuff for Zion. It's gonna be a branded video featuring my story, so yeah, that's exciting, I guess. So today I'm going to take you along for the ride and yeah, talk through some tips and advice for, I guess, when you're directing on set. So yeah, let's go. So tip number one when you want to make your shots more cinematic is pace. Okay, so I remember my first time ever directing on set and I was shit scared. As number one, don't be scared. Everything is going to flow normally, just you have your crew for a reason and you have to rely on them. Let's take a tour. So the best place is the craft service, where everyone gets to recharge in between shots. Then we have the makeup room, where this beautiful lady in this particular video is taking care of my looks. That's why I'm looking so beautiful today. We have the camera setup space, or you know, whatever DIY table you find. Basically this is it. We have the ACs in charge of this, so they're in charge of the rental gear and, you know, setting up the cameras, following the focus and stuff like that. And on this particular set where we are, there are a couple of, you know, rooms that have been set previously. This is one of our BDS shooters. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Basically, you have the freedom to do anything. But number two, which is probably the most important thing, pre-plan everything. Pre-production is going to be key, and you have to have like a shot list. And also your producer, Teddy, she's going to be, you know, following that everything goes on time, that all the shots have been, you know, checked and we don't miss anything. And also your script, if you're working with a script probably. Today we're shooting some branded content, so we are, and in this case it's a bit tricky because apart from directing, I'm also the talent on set. I suppose on your first time on set, you're just going to be directing, so it's going to be a bit easier. If you're, I don't know, taking a couple of rows, I would say that comes with more experience. If it's going to be your first time, just focus on doing your job specifically. Basically, tip number three for that is going to be that time on set passes by very, very quickly. So it's going to be better if you rent the space or, you know, plan the shoot for, you know, double the time that you had in mind, because it's going to take more time, just so you know. And you don't want to rush this. This is a creative thing that you're doing, so you want to be really focused and just want to have the peace of mind that you're going to be able to execute all the shots the way you want them to. And you know, despite that you have a shot list that you're following most of the time, so you're going to see something on set and you're going to be like, I really like that light or that shot or whatever, and you're going to want to follow that creative direction, and you want to have the freedom and time in order to, you know, be able to do that. Okay, something else that I find very important, and I think this is, you know, for directing in general, like if you're a beginner in that, you know, area. When you're working with talent, you have to know that directing talent isn't like moving a couple of objects in front of the camera. You actually have to, you know, get to know them and explain to them what emotion you're trying to convey. Maybe give them like a reference, for example, ask them, for example, have you experienced this and this? What did you feel in that moment? Can you please, you know, show that emotion to me, play it out to see how it feels, and always ask for feedback. Like, those are people you're working with, and that, you know, is true not only for your talent but also for your crew. Your crew might have some ideas and, you know, a way of seeing things that is different from yours, because sometimes we end up so focused on our, you know, storyboards and shot lists and blah 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 that we kind of limit ourselves. And so it's important to listen, take only what matters, of course, listening more than speaking. Taking a little break, and I think it's time for the next step. I've lost count already. Always shoot with the edit in mind. I know sometimes it's so hard to decide 24 FPS, 60 FPS. What do we do? Let's just shoot everything at 60 and we'll, you know, figure it out in the editing room. I mean, Sometimes that works, but especially if you're like on a commercial set, that's a hard no. And when you're working with a film crew that don't have a background in social media, but are, you know, working just on like sets like that, you have to know what settings you're going to be using your camera at and plan in advance. For example, you need that shot to be slow-mo, so shoot it at 60, but if you don't, 24 is your friend. Okay, lastly, but very importantly, if you're like just stepping on set and you have to direct, keep it cool. I know that probably deep down you're very, very nervous if everything is gonna go right. I mean, in most cases it won't, because directing is all about problem solving too, so there are going to be, you know, things are going to happen and you're going to make quick decisions and be like, okay, we can't do that, so we have to go a different direction, and that's all right. I mean, this is going to be your whole job from now on. So keep it cool, because your team and the talents, they're looking up to you. So if you seem, you know, confident, they're going to be confident too, and there aren't going to be situations where people are like, oh my god, this isn't working, and you know, you're panicking and doing nothing basically. So yeah, and of course have fun. I mean, filmmaking is fun, so yeah. Important is to always take the time to rest in between shots.